Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM and 103 GBF. Here with my tag team partner in podcasting, Rowdy Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
I may be rowdy, but I'm not going to wear a jacket that's 10 times too big and looks ridiculous.
I like that shirt.
I love it, and I thank you for it. I'm not going to disagree with her for wearing it. I get it. It's Roddy Piper's actual jacket, blah, 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 historical, blah, blah, blah. You look ridiculous in it. She looks ridiculous in that jacket.
It did look a little out of place, but also kind of cool.
Not even. It looked like my kids putting my clothes on and walking around the house. She doesn't look tough to me. I know she is. I've seen her fights. But she didn't look tough to me last night. But I enjoyed it. That was a great moment. I feel like you and I both found a way to correctly predict the Women's Royal Rumble.
Well, let's get started here, if you don't mind. I haven't done the math, although I'm trying to recall. You have the Lock of Destiny now, don't you?
Oh, I do. I do in a really big way, because you got a lot of the matches right. I needed a miracle to win it, and I got both Royal Rumbles correct.
That's the thing. So I don't feel bad about losing this one because you got both Rumbles correct.
Holy cow. How'd I do that?
Yeah, but I got the other matches right. So technically, it was 2-2 because I got the Raw tag match right when you got it wrong.
It ended up being 3-2 with the women's match coming up. And so if you get it right, then it's the last match of the night, so you would have won the tiebreaker.
Right. So the tiebreaker is the last match, and I mean, I don't feel any shame in losing a tie to the person who predicted both Rumble winners properly.
So I ended up winning 4-2, but it's because I got the Royal Rumbles right, which was ridiculous.
No, it wasn't 4-2. We disagreed on 4, and it was 2-2.
I have to look at it. I beat you badly.
No, you didn't. We tied, and you got the last match, which is why you won. Listen, no. I'm happy to give you the Lock of Destiny, but that's what happened, pal.
That's not what happened, pal.
Yes, it is.
I don't think that's what happened. I'm going to the tape.
We disagreed on 4, and I got 2 of them, and you got 2 of them, and you won the tiebreaker because the last match was the Women's Royal Rumble.
That might be right. Let me look. I'm going to the tape. I want to get this right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. So, all right. So the bar won. So you got that right.
Correct. That's 1. So I'm up 1.
So Brock won.
Now I'm up 2.
You're up 2. And then I got the Royal Rumble for the guys. So that's 2 points.
That's 1 point.
I got 2 points for Rumbles. And then I got the Women's Royal Rumble, and that's another 2 points.
Okay. Very, very good, Valeri. I like your math.
No, but it was close and it was good, and I feel like between the two of us, nobody can mess with our predictions.
Well, and you're right. I do deserve some bonus points for at least predicting the Rousey thing. Although, predicting is, in the internet days and age, it's like whatever.
But you called her coming out, and Oscar, because when Trish Stratus came out as number 30, I thought, okay. So there's no Ronda Rousey, which made putting the women on last make even less sense to me. Because I thought, at least if Ronda Rousey comes out, that's why they're putting this on last.
That justifies it, exactly. So I saw a few people commenting that they were happy Rousey wasn't in the Rumble, that it was just like, it was more special this way. I disagree with that personally.
I think it's okay. Keep the mystery there. Let us not know what we have to see with her.
It would have been okay if she did something special besides debut, but she didn't.
Sign Undertaker style.
And not only that, if there's a way to screw that up, I feel like she did. She just looked lost out there. Maybe it was the humongous jacket. I don't know.
It's a humongous jacket. I feel like her being out there kind of missed a little bit. And it was very confusing with Asuka. Like, she's getting in Asuka's face, but Asuka's not going to fight you. You don't have a championship. Asuka wants nothing to do with you.
It was so confusing.
Yeah.
So that was the ending. I thought was kind of a mess, and I agree that having her debut outside of the Rumble at the Rumble could have been a bit more productive, but nevertheless, it was not, in my opinion.
So we've started here. Let's keep moving with the Women's Royal Rumble, the Dumble as we called it. How did you feel about it?
So the Rumble, I feel like, and you can apply this to pretty much every Royal Rumble in history. The Royal Rumble is a lot of fun one time. And I don't mean the 2 in one night. I mean, I do not like rewatching Royal Rumble matches, but when they are live, they're so much fun. Right?
Absolutely. And last night was one of the most fun Royal Rumbles I can remember watching.
Are you talking about men or women?
I'm talking about the men's Rumble, but I had so much fun watching that one.
I agree. That was the better Rumble, in my opinion.
And I had some fun watching the women's Rumble as well. Not as much because the word I'd use to describe it was forced. Everything was forced. Bringing Stephanie McMahon out and the 2 champions, it was forced. Some of the commentary, the way they're trying to make it sound historic. Like at one point, just for no reason, Stephanie McMahon says Becky Lynch's outfit tonight symbolizes the future. What in the hell does that even mean? Like, why are you forcing this historic future women's evolution down my throat? The women looked at times lost to me, and I came up with a theory as to why. Because they haven't had generations of Rumbles to learn from. The new guys in the Rumble, like Shinsuke Nakamura, if they're having any issue whatsoever about pacing or where to be or where the cameras will be, they have dudes in there that have done 10 Rumbles. They have the Randy Ortons and the Cenas to learn from when they're in there because those guys are Rumble veterans. They know how to do that match. The Miz knows how to do a Rumble match, and he can help new guys through the thing. And when they were new, they had guys helping them, like Stone Cold and The Rock. These women, none of them knew how to do a Rumble match, and it showed.
Well, I feel like if I didn't watch the Rumble and I listened to your description of it, that it would have been a bad match. And I didn't feel that way. I didn't think it was bad. It just wasn't as good as the guys, in my opinion. It
wasn't bad because of the surprises.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. First of all, if you want the key example, the epitome of what Jerry just said, I feel like the best example you can look at is Kelly, specifically her first moments in the ring, which I believe were also supposed to be her last moments in the ring. Natty tries to throw her out, and I believe she was supposed to go out, didn't make it, and everyone got lost. Everyone got lost because Kelly couldn't clear the top rope.
Because we couldn't do it the way we were supposed to do it, so now we don't know what we're doing.
Natty was posing because in her head she just eliminated Kelly, but Kelly didn't go over, and everybody looked lost.
Yeah, Lita, who I predicted was going to be in the Rumble, almost broke her neck.
I don't even recall that, to be honest with you.
She almost broke her neck when she did the moonsault. She did that. Her angle was bad. I was like, oh my God. I didn't think she was going to make it around. And I thought she was going to die in the ring.
That would have been amazing. I got to be honest with you. I don't remember this. So maybe I don't know how to, I wish I could volley with you here, but I don't recall that.
Yeah, it was, she did a double moonsault. She did it onto Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, I think. And she barely cleared it. And
I'll have to watch that.
I backed it up too. I was like, oh my goodness. I thought she was going to die, but she made it.
Trish Stratus was super duper over.
Yeah, she was over. I wonder if they're going to try to keep her around a little bit now.
No, I don't think so. I don't know that any of the one-offs last night are the only one that strikes me as.
What's the difference between her and Mickie James? Mickie James is back. Why can't Trish be back for a couple months?
I don't think Trish is looking for that.
Oh, well, that would be it then.
Yeah, I'm not sure Trish is looking for that. The only name that strikes me as a potential, although I keep reading he's not signed, would be Rey Mysterio.
Well, I thought Rey Mysterio could be the new general manager of 205 Live, and now I'm convinced of it.
Oh, I don't know about that. That I see where you're coming from here. I just feel like they're not going to sign. I mean, look at the shape Rey Mysterio's in. You're not going to sign him and then underutilize him to that capacity, I feel like.
Let him be in the ring. If we're going to the men's rumble now, that was so fun. That was so fun. And I went from caring about who wins the rumble to wanting Rey Mysterio to win the rumble. Like, I was like, 619, 619, and I'm jumping up and down. And I don't remember being that excited when he was wrestling. And I marked out for Rey Mysterio last night, big time.
Fairly. Yeah, he was probably the biggest surprise. I would have said, if someone was, how everyone was throwing around the CM Punk name, and I was, on the post show as nicely as possible, I was trying to tell those people they were crazy.
Yes.
If you would have suggested Rey Mysterio, I also would have been like, it's not going to happen. So what's that?
I remember last week I'd said about maybe him for 205 Live, and you were like, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I feel like he's too big a name to be on 205 Live. Although now that they lost Enzo, now there might be some, it's possible. Well, I don't know.
Put him on 205 Live. Let him be in the real mix.
Right.
He would be fun. Put him on SmackDown.
I feel like Ray would rather do any of those other things he's been doing than 205 Live. Personally.
Yeah. I would love to see that. That was Rey Mysterio being there was great. I liked some of the other surprises. Hurricane Helms was funny for a minute. I was like, okay, that's a stretch, but whatever. You get that with the Rumble.
Yeah.
And then you had the two dudes from NXT. You had Adam Cole,
who, by the way, participated in a potential match of the year the night before.
Right. And the other one that could have been a match of the year was the CN, that dude.
Andrade Cien Almas.
Oh, that guy. Man, those matches on NXT were awesome.
Dude. So I was not feeling the TakeOver Philly special on Saturday night, which I did watch live, everybody. So check me out. Look at me go. I was not digging the show up until those last two matches, but those last two matches, oh my God. I participated in the Wrestling Observer polls this time, which is where you just send a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a thumbs in the middle. And for the NXT show, I sent a thumbs up, and then you send a best match, worst match. I sent best match as Aleister Black, just narrowly over the Andrade Cien Almas match. I preferred the weapons match personally. I'm assuming you did too, knowing you.
You know me.
But you could either one makes a ton of sense. And I said the worst match was Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. And I think Ember was really hurt last night, wasn't she?
I don't know. I hadn't heard that she was hurt. So I thought it was a work, but I don't know.
Might have been a work, but she didn't look that great in the Rumble, I thought. Yeah, but NXT did a really good job. I hate when people are like, oh, well, the WWE is never going to be able to follow that up. I wouldn't go that far, but I thought they were good matches.
Well, you know what? Then
Philly was great.
Let's talk about this then. Can we jump to, I know we still have more reviews to do. Can we jump to letter grades if you don't mind?
Sure.
I have a definitive grade, and I'm not teetering. I've got one letter grade.
I have one letter grade. That's it. And I'm not budging on it.
I guarantee you your letter grade is higher than mine.
I would assume so, yes.
I'm giving the Royal Rumble a C. And I'll explain after you give me yours. Go ahead.
A minus.
Really?
A minus. A minus. And I'm not counting the pre-show. I don't think we count the pre-show ever.
I didn't even watch the pre-show.
There were three matches. The U.S. title was on the line on the pre-show, but I didn't see it. I thought we still have to talk about the AJ Cammy match. I thought that was so good and so fun and well written. I thought the men's Royal Rumble was so creative in the very beginning. The way they did it with Elias and Baron Corbin and people getting flattened out and just the end of it and everything. Rey Mysterio. That in itself was an A+ Rumble match for me. The women were good, not great. I just thought a lot of it was forced. When the worst match on the card is the Usos and Gable and Benjamin. And the only reason I think that I would say it's the worst match in the card is because I feel like it ended on a botch. Because I think Gable was supposed to get somewhere before he did, and it ended before it was supposed to. You're doing something right. I thought it was a really fun pay-per-view, kept me interested the entire time. I didn't have a lull. That triple threat match had me grinning, and even though I didn't like the outcome, A-. I have no problems giving it an A-.
Okay. I'm giving it a C for a few reasons, and I'll tell you what they are.
It's ridiculously low.
Okay, let me chat with you here. I bet you, I'm actually thinking the post-to-post universe in the post show is going to side with me here, but I'm not sure. I don't really know what anyone thinks. The only person I've seen make a comment was Kevin, who commented on your status that he wasn't digging it.
Oh, yeah, he said he was disgusted with it.
So let me tell you where I'm coming from with my C rating, and just let me, throw this at you, and you can react if you want to.
Go ahead.
So there are 3 things that I look for that I've been constant about these. Do you remember what those 3 things are that make a good pay-per-view, Jer, in my opinion?
Okay. What do you want me to ask you?
No, I'm saying, I've been consistent about these since we've been doing this show. There are 3 things I need that make a good pay-per-view. Do you remember what they are?
Yes, and the one I agree wasn't great, but it didn't matter to me. It's the setup and the build up to the pay-per-view.
That's actually not part of it, although I do factor that into kind of part of it.
I thought that was one of your factors.
No, that would go into, I need storyline progression, which can kind of factor in a build.
Okay, you also need a big OMG moment, and I feel like we got those.
A water cooler moment, definitely check. You definitely have a check there. If nothing else, Ronda Rousey. That's what everyone. That was on CNN this morning. There is no doubt that's a water cooler moment today.
That's the big one for wrestling fans. It's Ronda Rousey and Ray, but it made national news. Ronda Rousey.
I feel like Ray on its own would not be a water cooler moment, but I'm without a doubt, I'm checking it for Ronda, and I'm also gonna check storyline progression because at the very least, stuff happened last night.
Oh, big time stuff happened. I can name a couple feuds that just moved forward nicely.
I'm not going to say big time, but I'll check the box.
Big time.
And then the other thing I need is great in-ring wrestling. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to check that box.
Cool.
So the men's Rumble was really well done for a Royal Rumble. It's a match I would never under any circumstances want to watch again because it's a Rumble. Yeah. Same with the women. I thought the women did a really good job, but again, I would never want to watch it again. I thought that AJ and Cammy was fine. Could have been a SmackDown match. I thought that the worst match was actually Jason Jordan and Rollins with the bar, personally, because it was so dead. And this goes back to my biggest problem, which I'm going to say right now. And the reason that so much was docked from this show to me. This show was so terribly written, in my opinion. At least the order of the matches was so jumbled. You started
the order was a problem because they were exhausted by the time they got to Jordan and Rollins. Exhausted.
It was really stupid to have 2 Rumbles in one night, in my opinion. But if you're going to do it, do the one they're most interested in last. And poor Rollins, Jordan, Cesaro, and Sheamus, they had no chance. There was nothing they could have done after that Rumble to keep the crowd interested. And not only that, for me personally, that carried over into the Universal title match. I thought that the show was so terribly written. In fact, to be honest with you, it would have been better to have done the 2 Rumbles back to back. And then to start with, the SmackDown title match with AJ Styles, the best wrestler on the roster. Another big mistake. The show was so poorly written to me. And again, a C isn't a bad score, especially for me. I'm usually the harsher critic of the 2. And it was a fun show all night long. But for those reasons, I'm giving it a C. And I don't feel like I'm going to budge.
Hindsight being 20/20. I see why they put some of the matches in the order that they put them. I see why they put the SmackDown title match before the men's Rumble because you needed Shinsuke Nakamura to say AJ Styles. They wanted that moment. And you put the Women's Rumble last because you wanted the Ronda Rousey moment to be the one that everybody says goodbye to. But I agree that the order was weird, but
it was not a well-written show.
I still liked all the matches. So on the in-ring, I still check okay. And I loved the triple threat match. I thought it was very good. It's brutal. It is what it is. Kane's going to give you what he gives you. Braun Strowman was the best performer in the ring.
I mean, also when you buddy this
they're
up,
never going to give the belt to him. They're never going to get the belt off of Brock.
When you buddy this up with what I thought was a poor build as well as a poor card, yeah, I'm sticking with a C.
I'm done picking against Brock too. I think they're going to keep it on Brock forever.
They might.
Man,
I feel like there's an end game with this, but
we knew that Kane was gonna take the fall. That's why he was in this match.
Yeah, right. And Kane had no heat in this match, and yeah, I don't know, it was weird. And then I thought it was weird seeing the men's Rumble, and then right after we see Rollins and Cesaro, Sheamus, just a few minutes before, now they're out again in their tag match. It was just so awkward to me. I hated the way the show was written. I could have written it so much better.
I loved how the Rumble was written. I thought that was good, and
I'm not complaining about the in-ring in the Rumbles.
They're starting to set up the Sammy KO thing that you had mentioned that was going to happen at Rumble or at WrestleMania, I think, because last night they beat up Ty Dillinger, and then one of them's going to go in a spot, and Kevin Owens is like, I got this, and he's going to go out, and then Sammy's like, no, I've got it, and Sammy takes the spot and goes out and gets eliminated. I'm sure that's going to be a bone of contention with Kevin Owens at some point.
I mean, if this counts, though, why didn't Kevin Owens just beat up somebody else? Why didn't Kevin Owens beat up the Hurricane?
That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for Kevin Owens to sneak in at some point, but he didn't.
Me too. So, by the way, that's the way I feel like in that men's Rumble, that's a perfect number of surprises to me. Like the Ray, the Helms, there were a few more that I can't think of right now. I remember it was that the Rumbles were written really well. I thought, personally, you can disagree if you want to, but I don't think you do.
No, I don't at all. I just think the women's wasn't executed as well, and I just felt like, I don't know. I felt like they were begging me to say that it's historical, and I don't like that.
Yeah, well, that was my big problem with the Hell in the Cell or Elimination Chamber. Well, yeah, Hell in the Cell.
Buckle up, baby, because you're going to get a women's Elimination Chamber next, right? Isn't that next?
Probably. I mean, it's just it's not if the girls are just there's a right and wrong way to do this, and I'm all for. I mean, the women's roster is great right now. It's just there's a right and wrong way to make history. I really did not appreciate Stephanie McMahon's commentary last night. You kind of brushed on this. She was really McMahonning it. Like McMahon when Vince would do commentary, he was kind of notorious to be like, as long as the guy who's not winning was doing the pinfall, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, he's got him. No, Stephanie would always be like, wow, Sasha's out, even though she's not you know what I mean? That kind of, she's reverse psychology announcing. I was not digging her announcing last night.
Well, yeah, I didn't like it at all because it was disjointed. She's not great at it, and she was only out there because it's the women. And when she's in the ring yelling at people, she's a bad guy. But when she's on the commentary for the women, she's an advocate. She's great. I don't get the whole stinking thing.
So
my question for you is this: Men's Rumble and Women's Rumble, the surprises we saw, not the throwbacks, not the flashbacks, except in the case of Ray, but the NXT people that showed up, are they now on the main roster, or is that not a guarantee?
I'm going to bet not.
Because you had two NXT, you had the NXT Women's Champ and the NXT Champ show up in the Rumble. They're not going to, I mean, Owens did it. I just don't know if that means they're going to be on Raw tonight or SmackDown. I don't know what that means.
What do you mean Owens did it?
Well, Owens came to Raw as the NXT champion. He did double duty for a little while, but they don't typically do that.
Yeah, I don't think those are call-ups, to be honest with you, Jared. They might be, but I'm going to bet against it.
The Philly crowd was great, and I liked the part in the men's rumble when they were chanting at Roman and Cena.
You both suck.
Yeah.
And then when they would do the yay boo punch spot, there was just boo boo. I love that. It was nice seeing Roman not get the victory. I will also say, for bonus points for me too, although you certainly have the lock. Not only did my thought process was right with Ronda Rousey. In both cases, my second choice won both Rumbles. Nakamura was my second choice, and I did say I did think somebody from SmackDown was going to win, but Reigns is the safe bet. So my second choice was Nakamura, which gets me nowhere. And my second choice was Asuka, which also gets me nowhere. But for what it's worth, I was where the big choices.
Well, to be fair, my second choice for the men's rumble would have been Roman Reigns. I just really didn't want it and didn't think it would work. And I don't think I had a second choice for the women. I don't know who I would have chose second for the women.
But your first choice was announced. My first choice was not announced. So I wanted to have a choice that was announced.
Right. Your first choice didn't show up in the women's rumble, but she showed up in a Roddy Piper. What's her connection with Piper, by the way?
Well, I know that she went by Ronda Rousey.
But she has because she was saying last night on Twitter and on social media that she wouldn't even have gotten into mixed martial arts if it weren't for Roddy Piper. So
I bet you Steve knows. I don't know if he's watching or not, but I bet you Steve's a big Rousey fan, I think.
Like, was she just inspired by him, or did she have a direct relationship with Piper?
I think there was a relationship, but I don't know if it was before or after Rousey was famous.
She's his daughter.
Probably.
She's his illegitimate daughter.
Is there anything else really? Hold on. I think I'm getting a message probably from Steve.
Let's go, Steve. Come on,
all right,
Steve.
Let's see. It just says he gave her the Rowdy name.
Great. Well, I wish he wouldn't have given her the jacket because she looks ridiculous in it.
Hold on, there's another one. He says, and she had his old jacket on, which we did discuss that too. So
yeah, we noticed that. It's like when my kids dress up in my clothes.
Hey, you want to, so I mentioned I gave NXT a thumbs up. I said I thought the best match was Aleister Black. I think most people will say it was the main event. I gave the Royal Rumble a thumbs in the middle. Said the best match was the men's Rumble match. Said the worst match was Rollins and Jordan taking on the Bar. I thought the NXT show, like I said, that first hour was brutal, in my opinion. I didn't like it. I
didn't mind it. I like the tag match that started things off. I like Authors of Pain.
I like Authors of Pain too. I know a lot of people are really behind who they fight, Fish and what's his name?
O'Reilly and Fish.
I feel like while they're good workers, I hate saying this, I find them very dull. I thought they were dull in the Royal Rumble. I thought they stood out for being really dull in a match with a lot of personality.
The Undisputed Era, you don't like that business right there, whatever they do?
I know everyone loves them. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this one. They haven't convinced me yet that they're anything special personally.
What about Adam Cole, baby?
Well, Adam Cole, if any of that group are standing out, it's him personally. But I still find him, like, what's his character? Here's my takeaway from, I've been watching a good bit of NXT. I watched War Games in December, even though it took place in November.
That was a great War Games. Didn't you like that match? It wasn't really War Games. It didn't have a top, but you still liked it, right?
I did not like it as much as everybody else, but I still thought it was good.
Okay.
My favorite match that night was Black and Velveteen Dream. And so I watched their USA special and I watched TakeOver Philly. And every time I watch these shows, I get these strong opinions that these are the guys who are ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
Aleister Black, it would be my first call up. He is beyond ready. He's so good. He's ready.
And he's over.
Velveteen Dream is such a complete character that he is dialed in a Goldust kind of way that I don't even care about his ring work, which isn't bad.
I feel like Velveteen Dream would die on the main roster. Not that he's bad, but he's just one of those guys that they bring him up and they just don't know what to do with.
I think Authors of Pain are ready.
Put them in a program with the Bludgeon Brothers immediately.
And then I would also say, I'll just say Peyton Royce is super duper hot. These are my takeaways.
Surprised. Weren't you surprised Peyton Royce didn't show up in the Women's Rumble?
I psyched myself up for it. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. And that didn't happen. We got Vicky Guerrero.
If you had, excuse me!
Yeah, I didn't need that. I
didn't need that at all. That was the only time Stephanie McMahon was funny. She was like, is she trying to get everybody to jump over the ropes themselves?
You know who my biggest pop was in the female Rumble? Male Rumble was Ray. Female Rumble was actually Molly Holly.
Okay. I really enjoyed when Lita came out.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me.
What other thing did I want to say? Who's hotter, Peyton Royce or Mandy Rose?
Probably Mandy Rose.
Yeah, there's no beating that one.
Yeah. Oh,
she's a good looking girl.
There might be beating that one.
Vicky Guerrero. Whew, she's looking uglier than ever.
So we've got Raw tonight. We can come back tomorrow with another episode after Raw. I don't know how much Raw has cleaning up wise to do. Like there's no like Raw angle. I'm dying to know what the deal is.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm dying to know. I don't know if I say dying to know, but okay. So does Ronda Rousey show up tonight? Let's see.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I would imagine if anything, she's going to be on the blue team. I think Asuka's going to challenge Alexa personally, and I think that Rousey's going to have Charlotte come WrestleMania.
Okay.
So I'm interested.
That makes more sense.
So here's my big question for the post show. Who, by the way, you guys have been killing it lately. The post show has been a blast.
On point.
Whose side are you more on when it comes to this grade? Jerry gave the Rumble an A-, and I gave it a C. What are your letter grades, and who's closer? Because I think that I may have you guys here. I don't think most people watching are going to give it an A-.
I bet you they split the difference. I bet you we see more B's than anything.
All right, we'll see. So please leave us that feedback. I
will.
Will
A.
Say what?
Will A.
Will A?
A, not a C.
We'll see.
I win.
Will A. Okay, I see what you're doing now.
A.
Happy birthday, Jake Roberts. Good review, man. Thank you so much. We want to know what you think in the post show. For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner in podcasting, Rowdy, Jerry Valeri. We'll talk to you tomorrow after Raw with another episode of Post to Post.
My outfit symbolizes the future, so says Stephanie McMahon.
This podcast is not going to end right now.